The survey ship Meridian's Hope touched down on planet Zerath 7 with barely a whisper, its landing strut sinking into crimson sand that hadn't known rainfall in 3,000 years. Corporal Maya Chen stepped out of the airlock, her environmental suit reading atmospheric toxicity levels that would kill most carbon-based lifeforms within minutes. But humans had learned to survive in places where survival seemed impossible. "Command, this is Chen. Beginning geological survey of Sector 7, she reported, her voice crackling through the comm system. The planet was a graveyard of civilizations. Shattered crystalline towers jutted from the desert like broken teeth, and dried riverbeds carved deep scars across the landscape. According to the xenoarchaeology reports, this world had once been a paradise, home to the mighty Drakari, a species of dragon-like beings who had mastered biotechnology and energy manipulation long before humans had discovered fire. Maya's scanner pinged as she approached a massive cave system. The readings were unusual. Faint biosignatures deep underground, too weak to be anything currently alive. Probably residual energy from ancient Drakari technology, she thought. Still, protocol demanded investigation. She descended into the cavern, her helmet lights cutting through darkness that had remained undisturbed for centuries. The walls were covered in intricate carvings depicting the Drakari in their glory days. Magnificent creatures with wings that spanned 30 meters, scales that could deflect plasma fire, and eyes that held the wisdom of ages. Then she heard it, a sound so faint she almost missed it beneath her own breathing. Water. The voice was barely a whisper, more thought than sound carried on frequencies that her translator implant struggled to process. Maya froze, her hand instinctively moving to her sidearm. "Please. Water." She followed the voice deeper into the cavern until her lights fell upon something that made her breath catch. Chained to the cavern floor with bonds of crystallized energy was a Drakari, but not the magnificent creature from the carvings. This being was a shadow of its former glory. Scales dulled to ash gray, wings torn and withered, body so desiccated that every bone showed through stretched skin. Its eyes, however, still burned with an inner fire. Those ancient eyes locked onto Maya with an intensity that transcended species. "Human," the dragon rasped, its mental voice stronger now. "I sense water in your suit. I beg you. Just one drop." Maya's tactical display showed the creature's vital signs, barely registering, hanging by a thread so thin it was miraculous it still lived. Her training screamed warnings. Unknown alien, potentially hostile. Mission parameters didn't include first contact with surviving Drakari. But Maya Chen hadn't joined the Colonial Survey Corps to follow orders blindly. She'd joined because humanity had learned through centuries of hardship that compassion was not weakness. It was strength. "How long?" she asked softly, kneeling before the massive head. 643 years, 2 months, 17 days, the dragon replied. "Since the betrayal, since my brother sealed me here, took our world's water for his fleet, left me to die slowly as punishment for opposing his war." "Your brother did this?" "Krathon the Conqueror. He drained Zerath 7 to fuel his armada's biological drives. I tried to stop him. This was his mercy, death, but slowly enough to regret my defiance for centuries." Maya's hand moved to her suit's emergency water reservoir. 3 liters. Enough for 72 hours in hostile environment. Command would reprimand her for breaking protocol. They might even court-martial her. But as she looked into those ancient, suffering eyes, she remembered why humans had survived when more advanced species had fallen. It wasn't their technology or their weapons. It was their stubborn, foolish, beautiful insistence on seeing people. Not statistics, not threats, not mission parameters, but people. She detached her water reservoir. "No," the dragon's voice filled with sudden alarm. "You need that to survive. I ask only a drop, not your life." "Shut up and drink," Maya said, pouring the water over the creature's parched maw. The dragon's entire body shuddered as the precious liquid touched its tongue. Scales that had been gray for centuries began to shimmer with faint opalescent light. The crystalline chains designed to drain life energy from their prisoner suddenly found something to drain. Renewed vitality, however small. "Why?" the dragon asked, its voice stronger. "Your species is young, barely able to leave your star system. You know nothing of me. I could be a war criminal, a monster. Why waste your survival resources?" Maya smiled behind her helmet. "Because a very wise human once said that our humanity isn't measured by how we treat the powerful, but by how we treat those who can't defend themselves. You've been tortured for 6 centuries. I don't care what you did, no one deserves that. She began working on the crystalline chains, her plasma cutter making slow progress through the energy bonds. Your technology is primitive, the dragon observed. Those chains would take your tool hours to break. Then I'll work for hours. You'll die. Your water is gone. My ship has more water. I'll be uncomfortable, not dead. Why risk even discomfort for me? Maya paused in her cutting, meeting those ancient eyes. Because that's what humans do. We're not the strongest, fastest, or smartest species out here, but we're the ones who stop. We're the ones who help. We're the ones who care even when it's stupid to care, especially when it's stupid to care. 3 hours later, the final chain shattered. The dragon rose on trembling legs, wings unfurling for the first time in centuries. Even weakened, even dying, the creature was magnificent. I am Vareth, the dragon said, its mental voice resonating with power and profound gratitude. Last of the Drakari peacekeepers. The galaxy thinks my kind extinct. They're almost right. But you, Maya Chen, have reminded this old warrior why some things are worth surviving for. Can you fly? Maya asked practically. Eventually. First, I must ask. Your species shares water so freely. What do they share in battle? Maya grinned. Everything. Humans share everything in battle. Fire, steel, fury, and blood. We're really annoying that way. The dragon's laugh echoed through the cavern like thunder, the first joyful sound these walls had heard in 600 years. Then perhaps, Vareth said, it is time the galaxy learned what happens when the last peacekeeper flies alongside the humans. My brother's empire still stands, still conquers. But empires fall when compassion meets courage. Maya contacted her ship. Command, this is Chen. Mission parameters have changed. I'm bringing someone home. Someone who's very thirsty, very angry, and very ready to teach the universe what humans learned long ago. What's that, Corporal? Maya looked at her new companion, at the dragon who would fly again because one human chose kindness over protocol. That mercy, she said, is the most powerful weapon in the galaxy.